Hello, and welcome to this very special webcast training. I'm John Commuta. Thanks for joining me this evening. I really appreciate your valuable time. Now, I'm a best-selling personal finance author, but if you've never heard of me, I won't be hurt. I will be telling you my story as we go along. Now, you want to pay close attention because we're going to give away a brand new Kindle Fire later if you're the first one to correctly answer a question about something I'll be explaining during the presentation. But this is a time for you to disengage. Before we get into it, I want to encourage you to shut down the cell phone or at least put it on vibrate. Close down any chats or social media on your computer that aren't directly related to this webcast, because they not only eat up your attention, but they eat up bandwidth. And I want your reception of the presentation to be as clear as what we're sending out. Shut the door on the room you're in. Explain to your family that this is very important information for all of you and that you need to focus on it. This presentation is called How to Grow Your Wealth Tax-Free Without Stock Market Risks. Pretty straightforward. In this webinar, I'm going to tell you about a true wealth building secret of the rich. It's based on a process you have almost certainly never heard of before. Now, this presentation will help you if you'd like to get off the debt treadmill so you don't have to continue working until you die, and you'll be using a system that will pay off your debts and build your wealth with the same dollars at the same time. This presentation will help you if you're concerned that even if you pay off your debts and invest your income, the markets may take it all away from you right when you need it. This presentation will help you if you're making good money, but you know that the banks are getting wealthier on your money than you are. I'm also going to show you how to get a higher investment return than you can get anywhere else. Does that sound interesting? Well, let me know in the chat. You see, it helps me see if I'm on target. It gives me the kind of feedback that I would get if we were sitting across the table from each other in your kitchen. And that's how I'd like you to look at this, and this is how I'm looking at it. So, okay, here's my promise to you. I'll show you a system that you've almost certainly never heard of that can get you to where working at a job will be optional for you. This is a system that you will control, a system that will benefit you and those you care about most. Now, is that a bold promise? If you think it is, stick around and watch me keep it. If I keep my promise, do I have your permission to take 20 minutes at the end to give you a great offer to consider on how to get this done? If that sounds fair, again, give me a yes in the chat. Now, I have a couple free bonuses for everybody who sticks around to the end of the presentation. The first bonus is all the slides from this presentation. You'll see that I'm going to be giving you a ton of information tonight. I'm going to be teaching you a valuable set of steps to take to improve your financial situation. So you'll get all those slides. So you don't have to go crazy taking notes. You should take notes of the highlights, but don't worry about getting every single thing because you're getting the slides. You're also going to get a tool called the Calculate Your Debt Payoff tool. With this tool, you'll be able to quickly determine when you can be completely debt-free. Plus, our free giveaway, we're going to give away a brand new Kindle Fire during the Q&A. To win it, you're going to have to keep the notes on the high points here. Now, I want to explain to you about asking questions. If you want to ask a question during this presentation, and you can do it at any time, we're going to do the Q&A at the end. But if you have a question, you may want to write it down and get to it later, or just put it in there. Now, if you go down to the bottom of the chat, you'll see a little balloon, kind of a cartoon balloon where they normally put the text in a cartoon. Click on that, and it gives you two options. One is to write something in the chat. The other is to ask a question. So if you want to ask a question, please click on the question, and that turns your question a different color in the chat so we can see it and easily find it at the end. Okay, let us get into the presentation. And to do that, I'm going to have to divert my attention over here and bring up the slides so that I can show you the important information that we need to get to. So here we go. Why are we here today? Well, we are here today because middle-class America is being financially squeezed. Average inflation-adjusted incomes have been stagnant or down in America for decades, but average debt loads are up. But that's just the average American's current month-to-month reality. We're going to focus on the reality that most people would like to slow down or stop working someday. Whatever that might look like for you, it will take future income. So what are you doing to prepare? Well, about half of Americans are saving, and I put that in quotes because it's really not saving for retirement. It's sort of gambling for retirement in a 401k, an IRA, a 403b, or other IRS plan. The other half are pretty much doing nothing to prepare for their futures. Now, Canadians use something called a registered retirement savings plan, but it works about the same. So are these plans working? That would be a no. NBC News had a segment called "The Great 401k Experiment Has Failed for Many Americans." How about CBS News? The 401k has failed. Let's admit it. Forbes, why 401ks have failed. Seeing a trend here? These plans are not working. All these tax-deferred qualified plans work the same way and fail the same way. How do we know? Because of the results. According to the National Institute on Retirement Security study done recently, Americans are $6.8 trillion shy of what they'll need to ever stop working. Now, if we look at just those in America ages 50 to 64, they have on average just $12,000 saved. Think about that, retiring on $12,000. If we broaden it out to the younger people and look at ages 25 to 64, that average drops down to just $3,000 saved. But the really scary part, 45%, almost half of Americans have nothing saved. They are literally a couple of paychecks away from insolvency. All that together comes up that 92% of Americans are short by what they'll need, and not by just a little bit, but by frightening margins. What does this tell us? Well, while Americans say they expect to be able to retire someday, even early, most of them are not doing the things that can actually make that possible. They're essentially fooling themselves. In fact, the middle class is shrinking. Middle-class Americans now comprise less than half of the nation's population. That's down from 61% in 1971, according to a recent Pew Research Center study. But where are they going? Well, the share of the population living in the upper income tier rose from 14% to 21% over the same period. Meanwhile, the share in the lower income tier increased from 25 to 29%. Now, did you catch that, what I just said? While America's middle class is indeed shrinking, 7% of the middle class have found a way to move into the upper income tier, while only 4% fell into the lower income tier. Well, what do the 7% know? There's obviously something the upwardly mobile 7% have figured out that the rest of middle class America either don't know or don't know how to implement. So we have two realities here in America and in Canada and Australia and all the developed countries. Qualified plans and other retirement saving strategies are abject failures. Most people are not getting ready to stop working. And number two, at the same time, some middle-class people are not only figuring out how to survive, but how to thrive in their later years. That's where we come in. The plight of the middle class has been my personal burden and motivation for more than 25 years, and it's been the same for my partner, Anthony Manganello. It's what drives us every day. Over that time, we've had the privilege of helping millions of people learn how to stabilize their middle-class lives and how to move into what Pew Research calls the upper income tier. If you'd like to learn how to move into the upper income tier, or at least not fall into the lower income tier, you're in the right place. And it doesn't matter what generation you're in. Millennials, Xers, boomers, if you have a job or a business and you're building your life and you're neither rich nor in poverty, I believe I have your answers in this webinar. But let's start back before I had any answers. In fact, before I even knew the right questions. Back in the day, I thought that financial independence was just making a lot of money. That's what it meant. You know, you make a lot of money and you live on a lot of money. So along with some partners, I built a business that paid me a lot of money each month. I lived what I thought was the American dream, you know, vacations, fancy cars, all that deal. But then our sole supplier for that business went out of business on a Friday, and we were out of business by Monday. We spent the weekend trying to figure out how to stay, but we hadn't put in place the right kind of procedures and financial controls, etc. We were out of business by Monday. Well, that scared the snot out of me. I eventually did find a job, but I wasn't getting ahead at that job. It wasn't making me anything near what the business had paid me. And I honestly felt like a failure. I'd look in the mirror each morning and I looked like a prisoner of war. I felt out of control of my financial future. All I could do was fight from day to day. Does that sound familiar to you? Have you ever felt like that? It's not fun. I had thought I was building a successful life, but it was a life based on everything going right. That weekend, I learned that everything doesn't always go right. So I was stuck. I was in this job. I worked hard at my job, but my sins were catching up to me. I was just paying for yesterday's purchases, and I had nothing left to put towards tomorrow. During that ordeal, I learned one of the most important facts of my financial life. Consumer debt is my enemy. When I use a bank's money, I became their investment, their servant. I was working for them. I was building the bank's wealth, not my own. When you use borrowed money, the creditor owns that part of your income for years and decades into your future. I became obsessed after that. I felt vulnerable to my creditors, and I was determined to break free from their leverage over my life as quickly as possible. So I built a system. Now, it ended up being called the Debt-Free and Prosperous Living System, but before that ever came out, Lois and I used it. My wife Lois and I put that system to work, and we had 26 years left on our home mortgage, plus a typical assortment of other debts. Following my new system, we paid everything off in just 4 years, 7 months, including the house. We did it using nothing more than our paychecks. She had gotten a job, I had gotten a job. And we used our paychecks to do this. And we owned our home and our vehicles when it was done, but more importantly, we owned our entire after-tax income. Well, that peeled away layers of stress. We enjoyed our time with each other more. We had more time and energy to enjoy our children and eventually our grandchildren. So my debt elimination system worked a lot better than my original make and spend a lot of money system had. And I found that it worked for nearly everyone I showed it to. Most of them could pay off all their debts, including their mortgages, in about 5 to 9 years, depending on how creative they were at getting into debt. Well, Debt-Free and Prosperous Living became so popular, I had to create my own publishing company to meet the demand. It was called Financial Independence Network Limited, or FINL for short. We grew so fast, we were selected to Inc. magazine's prestigious Inc. 500 list 3 times. And that's not easy because it's based on growth rate. So we were growing fast continuously. My marketing manager back then was a young man named Anthony Manganello, and now he's my partner and co-instructor in the program I'm talking to you about today. After FINL, Tony branched out and started a company called Tower Legal Network, helping people settle their credit card debt. They served almost 4,000 clients, settled more than $40 million in debt, and had the highest client retention rate in the settlement industry at 96.4%. Meanwhile, Debt-Free and Prosperous Living evolved into the Transforming Debt into Wealth system. It was published by world-class publisher Nightingale Conant. It was advertised on satellite and local radio for nearly a decade, and it became the most popular and successful personal debt elimination and wealth building course in the world, which led to my conducting 13 worldwide seminars with a guy named Tony Robbins and his Wealth Mastery program. Now, all these teaching opportunities allowed me to help more than 3 million people get on the road to a better financial life. Tony Manganello and I have worked together for more than 2 decades. We've seen what works and what doesn't work. And with all that we've learned over the years, the system I'm going to explain to you in this webcast revolutionized our personal financial lives and what we now teach to others. We can save you a lot of pain. You get to cheat. You get to take the shortcut that we took the long cut to learn ourselves, the shortcut to the wealth curve. So what is the wealth curve? Well, it's simple. It's where your wealth only grows with uninterrupted compounding. You've probably seen this in some sort of an illustration or a lesson about how wealth can compound, how money can compound, but it rarely works like that for most people. That is an uninterrupted wealth curve, and we want to talk to you about how to get on it. But this is the curve that most qualified and other IRS tax favored plans are on. This is not a wealth curve. This looks like the edge of a hand saw, okay? That's not comfortable. What difference would it make to your life? How would you feel if you knew you were securely on the wealth curve? Stop and think about this. Write it in the chat. How would you feel about it? Well, without some kind of plan to get you on the wealth curve, as we saw, there's a 92% chance you'll never be able to slow down or stop working. The banks and mutual fund managers will end up with most of your money, and then you'll eventually die, which is one way to stop working, but it's not the preferred method. With a wealth curve plan, you can get to where your accumulated wealth can support you. You can stop working if you want. You end up with your money pays you, the banks end up with nothing of yours. You can enjoy your money while you're still alive. What a plan. Plus, with a dependable plan that can put you on the wealth curve, you can have a real shot at joining the 7% who are moving from middle class to the upper income tier. This presentation is going to be informational. This is something I want to make sure I make clear before we get into it deeply. I can't make any promises about how the system will perform for you because I don't know how well you'll perform the system. With that understood, let's get moving. This is called 5 Smart Steps to get you on the wealth curve. Step 1 is planning. Step 2, spending management. Step 3, cash accumulation and deployment. Step 4, debt elimination. And step 5, investing to build what we call job optional income. In other words, income that makes your job optional. You can work at it if you love it. You can stop working at it if you don't love it anymore. So we're really going to get into these 5 steps, and this is teaching. I'm giving you this on this webinar. And if you're like, holy cow, this is going to be a lot of stuff, don't forget one of your free bonuses for sticking to the end is all of these slides you're looking at. You're going to get this as a PDF downloadable. So let's get going. All right. What is job optional income? It's when your wealth curve can generate enough income for you to live without a job. If that's too complicated for anybody, raise your hand, but I think we all get it. Okay, let's get you on the wealth curve towards job optional income. It is a process. The first step in the process is planning. You can go spend a few $1,000s with a certified financial planner, and you know what'll happen? I did this many years ago. You do most of the work. That's right. You have to go get all the numbers and everything, and then they feed it into a computer, and it spits out this boilerplate plan for you. But you did most of the work. So we're going to help you do the work and make your own plan here, and you'll be able to manage it without necessarily giving anybody else thousands of dollars. So the first step is coming up with a plan. If you don't have a plan, you know what? Do whatever you want because you'll get to the destination that'll take you to without a plan. Step 2, manage your spending. If your spending is unmanaged and just out of control, you know what's going to happen. I don't even have to tell you. When you manage your spending, money ends up being left over at the end of the month because you find the leaks, you plug the leaks, you get a little more discipline. Now, this doesn't mean live like a monk in a cave somewhere, but this means just having a little control. And then the money accumulates, so you have to put it somewhere. And that is step 3, accumulating the cash. What do you do with the accumulated cash? You eliminate debt. Why? This is the best bang for your buck right here. When you eliminate debt, first of all, you get a return on investment equal to the interest rate the debt charges. But more importantly, you free up the monthly income that was going to that debt payment. And now you've got something to build wealth with. So now you invest to grow your wealth. That wealth gets up to a point where it can generate an income stream which contributes to your job optional income. This is how it works. I don't care who you go to, how fancy their office is, what you pay them. These are the steps they have to take you through to get you to where you want to get to. So you're getting it for free tonight. All right, let's look at them one at a time. Step 1, planning. Your plan needs at least 3 data points. Number 1, the age you would like your job to be optional. Let's call it retirement age or whatever you want to call it, but you got to pick an age. Number 2, your likely monthly income at that time. And 3, your likely monthly expenses at that time. And when we talk about a number 2, your likely monthly income, we're talking about without your job, okay? So now let's go through the data points. Number one, what is your desired job optional income age? That's up to you. This is the age at which you want your wealth curve income to cover your expenses. You may not leave your job, but you could because it's optional. Data point two, what will be your income sources at that point? Wealth curve income, in other words, from your investments, from the wealth curve that we've helped you build, a business of your own. This is a really good wealth curve income source. If you get something going that's producing revenue for you and it's scalable and it's in your control, that's really a good thing. Social Security. Some people will tell you that think this is going to go away and it won't be there and blah, blah, blah. You know what? The government always figures out how to keep this going. So, I've heard all the doomsday things over the years. I've been around for 67 years. It's never been as bad as the doomsdayers say it's going to be. So somehow they'll figure this out and they'll keep it going. So you'll have some sort of Social Security. And if you go to socialsecurity.gov, you can find out what they project your monthly income will be when you reach retirement age. And it will probably shock you at how not high it is. Okay, another thing could be pension. If you're lucky enough to work someplace where they still do pensions, this could be a dependable income source for you. And of course, if you have IRAs or 401ks, but you've got to figure out what can you take out of that over your entire retirement life. How big of a chunk could you take out every year, every month, or whatever? And you can count that. Okay, data point three, estimate your job optional income monthly expenses. These will be mostly the same types of expenses you have now, but you need to consider what debts will be gone. Will the house be paid off? Will the cars be paid off? What will your debt picture and what will your expense picture look like at that time? Will you downsize your home or cars? You need to consider all these things and project out. What will that leave you with each month? This is simple subtraction. Will you have a surplus or will you have a job optional income gap? In other words, your income doesn't add up to enough to cover those projected expenses. If not, what is your plan to close the gap by that age? Okay, so your plan needs to include the exact steps to get this done, from where you are now to a job optional income surplus. The steps need to be achievable by you and they need to be believable to you. Because if your subconscious mind can't believe that this is achievable, it won't work on it. And you need your mind working on this. Okay. Write your plan on paper or on your computer. Why? Because your brain leaks. It just does. And your resolve fades. You must remain accountable to your plan. But if it's not written down anywhere, if you can't check on it to see where am I supposed to be, well, you're not going to remain accountable. All right, that's step one, planning. Step two, spending management. Your financial enemies don't want you to figure this out, but you are being systematically manipulated into buying things you don't need. Really? You are being systematically manipulated also into using credit to buy these things you don't need because the banks want to own your future income. But if the banks own your future income, you won't be able to use it to build job optional income. You will be forced to work until you die. You need to fight back against this manipulation. You need a system that will help you spend with your brain rather than your emotions. You need a system to protect a portion of your current income to build your future income. And you need a system that gives you feedback. To manage your spending, your brain needs to know the numbers and the trends. It needs to know your income and expenses because what gets measured gets done. So download and use an income and expense statement. Microsoft is happy to give you one for free, or actually there's several of them there. Just go to templates.office.com and download an income and expense statement and set it up for your use. Also, keep an informal spending journal with you, just a little booklet or some kind of document or paper that you can record things, or in your phone, and keep track of your cash expenditures. You have to know where your money is going. That's step two, spending management. Step three, cash accumulation. Now that you're managing your spending, what you're going to find out is there will be more money at the end of the month than there traditionally has been. You're going to plug leaks. You're going to start looking at some of your cash expenditures and going, really, is this absolutely necessary? Especially once you see what that money can do for you. So you need a platform to accumulate this cash. Now, you want an account that will both accumulate and grow your cash. Ideally, this platform should be risk-free and tax-free with guaranteed internal growth and restriction-free access to your money. That is not the definition of a 401k or IRA. Stick with me and you'll find out about that. All right. This is also your cash deployment platform. This is the staging account from which you'll deploy accumulated cash. The money you'll use for major purchases, for emergencies, for debt elimination, and for investments will come from this account. You could use a bank savings account or CD. Growth rates are pitifully low, but your money is relatively secure from capital loss, meaning that what you actually put in there won't go away like it can in the stock market. Unfortunately, growth in these accounts is not tax-free. It's pitifully low, and you have to pay tax on it. So that's your cash accumulation stage, step 3. Now, step 4, debt elimination. Debt is just banks stealing your future. So use your accumulated cash from step 3 to systematically accelerate your debt payoff. Ideally, this system would grow the money you're using for debt elimination at the same time it's eliminating your debts. That is also possible. Hang in there. Debt elimination is crucial to achieving job optional income. You cannot service a typical consumer debt load and build job optional income. Your monthly debt payments are the same dollars you should be building your job optional income with. Debt elimination is actually simple. As simple as 1, 2, 3, as a matter of fact. Step 1, stop increasing your debt. Stop pulling the cards out. Step 2, maximize your monthly margin. That was spending management in step 2 that we talked about. Step 3, focus your monthly margin on paying off your smallest 2 largest balance debts one at a time. Your monthly margin is that money that's left over. You pay your necessary expenses each month. That money that's left is your margin. Now, you can waste that margin or you can invest that margin in debt elimination. What would you do with it if you wanted to eliminate debt? You take the smallest balance debt and you add the entire margin to the monthly payment on that one debt, paying minimum payments on everything else, and you overpay that debt until it's gone. And that is usually months, and that's gone. Now, what have you done? You've recovered what used to be that debt payment. So now you add that into your margin, roll it onto the next smallest balance debt, and pound on its monthly payment until it's gone, roll its former payment into the margin, roll it all onto the next debt, and so on. Rinse and repeat till all your debts are gone. So how would you feel if you had no credit card payments, no car payments, no student loan payments, no department store payments, or any other consumer debt payments? Let me know in the chat what you would do if you were completely debt-free, and really stop and think about this. You see, most people never let themselves think this because they don't believe it's really possible. I remember thinking, I will have a car payment until they put me in the ground. But it is very possible to become debt-free. Okay, that's step 4, eliminating your debts. Step 5, Kashif would fire his boss. Good plan. Step 5, safe investing. Safe investing. Banks know how to grow their money, right? They know how to grow their money. They're not too good at growing your money, but they know how to grow their money. So let's take a page from their playbook and invest in the same assets they do, like real estate or business loans and leases, education loans, vehicle financing. Now, look at this list for a second. How do they invest in real estate? Mostly your mortgage. How about your education loans? How about your cars? And even if you got your financing from the guy in the corner at the dealership, he's getting the money from a bank. Banks are making you their investment. Stay away from paper investments if you want to have safe investments. That stocks and bonds are paper investments because really, all you really have is a piece of paper every month. And They have capital risk, meaning the money you put in could be lost. Okay. And if you know anybody that was around in 2008, they can tell you stories about that. And here's why you do not want to put your investment money or savings money at risk, because your primary income source is already at risk. How many times have you sat down after dinner, turned the TV on, and the news comes on, and they say, yeah, big company XYZ just laid off 10,000 people. Okay, those 10,000 people went into work that morning thinking, yes, I have my good steady paycheck. And then they walked out with a box with all their belongings in it. Your job is not a secure income stream. Your income stream, your job income stream, will likely be interrupted more than once in your working life. So you need to keep the risk of everything else you do with your money as low as possible. Your 401k, IRA, 403b is already at risk. Why? Because it's almost certainly partially or completely in the stock market. Seek investments with little to no capital risk. You want your job optional income funds to be there when you need them. I have a friend, a good friend, who in 2008, his IRA, when all the dust settled, had only what he had put in it over the preceding 20 years. That's what the shock market can do to you. Look for alternative investments. These are alternatives to the markets. These are like private equity funds, private lending, life settlement funds, structured commercial loan funds. And we'll be talking about some of this, and bridge loans. We'll be talking about some of this a little bit down the road here. So these are the 5 steps to job optional income. You establish your plan. Part of that plan is how to manage your spending. That develops margin cash. That cash accumulates in your cash accumulation platform. You deploy it onto your debts to eliminate them, which creates more cash now because you're recovering all those monthly payments you used to be sending away on the debts. And now you use that to invest to grow wealth so that that wealth can pay you job optional income. So I've just shown you how to do this. You could, click off, go eat dinner, and you've got the plan. And don't forget, we have a Kindle Fire, though, for one lucky winner who hangs around. So you'll be giving up the Kindle Fire if you do that. But I've shown you the 5 steps. And one of the bonuses we're going to give you at the end is a tool that will help you calculate your actual total debt elimination timeline. So when I give you the 1, 2, 3 steps, this is a form that will actually help you calculate that. The other bonuses I told you will be all the slides with all the 5 steps. So you'll have the system on paper or on your computer screen. Now, is that helpful? Did the 5-step job optional income process make sense to you? Give me a yes in the chat. Let me know we're good to keep moving, because I've got something good I want to show you. Now, I've taught you the 5 steps. As I said, you could create your own action plan to execute them. But we have engineered a system that has been 2.5 decades in the making. Our system is the cheat, the shortcut I told you about. Why is that important? Because systems are smarter than goals. And who said that? Why is it in quotes? I said that. And why did I say that? Because goals are arbitrary destinations without the steps to get you there. I want to lose 25 pounds. Well, good luck. Have your mouth sewn shut. You need a system. Systems are the step-by-step process actions that, if followed, will get you to your goals and likely beyond your goals. Goals produce desire. Think of your New Year's resolutions, but then eventually frustration. Systems produce results. So this is the 5 steps on steroids. Our system is powered by a uniquely designed financial mechanism called a private family bank. Our system will accelerate your debt payoff and simultaneously build your wealth in an account that will only and always go up. Remember the wealth curve. At a growth rate up to 20 times what banks pay, with no market corrections, no crashes, no surprises. Our system can eliminate your debts and build job optional income with the same dollars at the same time, and it can grow your money tax-free. Our system can give you tax-free use of your money for any reason while leaving the full amount growing in the account. You can use it to self-finance your consumer purchases, self-finance car purchases. It is a way better way than a 529 plan to save and pay for college expenses. Our system can instantly and dramatically increase your family's net worth. It can protect your money from lawsuits and judgments. Now, this varies a little bit by states, but it's in all 50 states to some degree. And when I say it protects what's in that account from like somebody getting a judgment against you and going to get the money out of your bank account, which they can do. They can't do it with this. Our system can allow you to pass your money to your heirs tax-free. It can let you invest in any asset or strategy and give you a higher return than you could get any other way. Our system can put you on and keep you on the wealth curve. Can I describe this system to you? Do I have your permission? I've already shown you the 5-step process to put you on the wealth curve. Now I want to show you how we have systematized and automated these steps. But before I go into this new system, I want to get your okay in the chat because we kind of had that deal. Now, while you're deciding to let me go ahead, I want to say that this system is not for everybody. Only people in the United States and Canada change their financial lives will find this system useful and usable to them. There is a small investment, but I'm going to make that part easy for you. But it has to do with the laws in the United States and Canada that make this possible. Other parts of the world, the laws don't work the same way. So I apologize if you're dialing in from somewhere else on the planet, but that's the restrictions we have here. Okay, our system is called the Smart Wealth System. SMART stands for something. S stands for start with a plan. M stands for maximize your accelerator margin. A stands for activate your private family bank. R stands for remove your debts. And T stands for transition to investing like a bank. So let's take a look at that. The Smart Wealth System is a 5-session course. Every session has 2 major sections. The primary lesson, where Tony and I teach you, and then related bonus lessons and tools that bring in more information to help you achieve what that lesson is designed to do for you. Plus, there are weekly online classroom webinars. These are live webinars where we review course content and answer your questions live. So we don't just give you a bunch of information and wish you luck. This is an educational process, and we go through it with you. So let's look at the 5 sessions. Session 1, start with a plan. We will take you, remember the 5 steps. Now watch them on steroids. We will take you through a planning process that will give you a clear picture of where your current financial trajectory is taking you by your job optional income age. This is the diagnosis stage of the Smart Wealth System. You first have to find out where you're going on the course you're currently on. If your current trajectory shows you will not have more income than expenses by the age at which you'd like your job to be optional, the rest of the Smart Wealth System course will focus on turning this income gap into a surplus. If your trajectory, on the other hand, shows you will have more income than expenses by that age, the rest of the Smart Wealth System course will focus on growing that income surplus into an even larger and more dependable mountain of job optional income. So let's look at the lesson portion of session 1. Tony and I teach you on video streaming. You will get credentials to log into a portal where the entire course is in there, and you will be able to click and start watching the lesson on video. You also have the opportunity to listen to the audio from that training, either streaming online, or you can download it and put it on any device that'll play an MP3 file, like an iPod or whatever you have, your phone, and you can take the lesson with you and review it. You also get lesson documents. They include all the slides from each presentation, just like tonight's presentation. You'll get all the slides, so you essentially get the book of the presentation. Plus, you get a worksheet. In this case, the Start with a Plan lesson worksheet, which you fill in the blanks as you go along with me and Tony on the lesson. And in this case, you get the Job Optional Income Living and Expense Projection Excel spreadsheet. Remember, I said you had to be able to project your potential expenses at your job optional income or retirement date. Well, this is a tool that we use during the lesson to help you plan that out and come out with your expenses that you project on this spreadsheet. Now, session 1 is a great start to the planning process. But then I got to thinking, following a financial plan to a desired outcome requires personal performance principles most people have never been properly taught. So I thought I should share what I've learned about them. So your session 1 bonuses start with an audio lesson, and this is a complete audio training. This is like 50 plus minutes. It's called The Law of Success. The the laws of success. Now, this lesson reveals 15 bedrock principles that, if acted on, can pretty much guarantee your success in whatever you focus them on. They're at the root of all success. You also get an audio lesson called The Laws of Achievement. This lesson examines 12 fundamental achievement truths. If you've bothered to establish any goals in your life, following these time-tested rules will lead you to their accomplishment. You also get a tool called Your Average Job Optional Income Day as a PDF tool. This tool will help you determine how expensive a lifestyle you plan on living most days after you want your job to be optional. This helps you project your future expenses. You'll also get a tool called Your Post-Employment Lifestyle To-Do List. Now, this tool will help you list the things you'll get to do, not the things you'll have to do in your job optional income years. So that's a lot. And it was just session 1. Session 2, maximize your accelerator margin. This session will give you the most visibility you've probably ever had into the spending side of your current financial situation. We will use both psychological and mathematical tools to reshape your spending management so you can maximize the amount available for the next step in the Smart Wealth system. You will feel the confidence of finally being in complete control of your money. If your session 1 plan shows you'll have an income gap, this session will show you how to start closing it to solidify your financial future. If your session 1 plan shows you'll have an income surplus, this session will dramatically increase the cash flow your Smart Wealth system can focus on exploding the job optional income. So your session 2 lesson comes just like session 1, Tony and I teaching you on video streaming, plus you get the audio. You can download it and take it on any device. Plus you get these lesson documents, all the slides from the presentation, plus the worksheet to follow along with us during the training. Plus you get the income and expense statement Excel workbook. Now, to call this a spreadsheet is a dramatic understatement. This is a multi-tab workbook that will help you track literally every dollar of your household income and expenses, whether they're monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, annually. Every dollar you will track on this, and it automatically summarizes and moves all the summaries to a single page, and you can see in a glance your entire income and expense reality. And so this is a very powerful tool. But lesson 2 got me to thinking, if maximizing your accelerator margin is that important to achieving job optional income, and it is, then we should provide you with some additional portable, easily reviewable training to help you do that. So your session 2 bonuses start with an audio lesson called Finding Your Accelerator Margin. This audio lesson takes you on a tour of all the places money can be leaking out of your life, money that could be building your wealth. You'll be surprised by some of them. You get another audio lesson called Managing Your Spending to Maximize Your Accelerator Margin. See, these are supplemental lessons that help you accomplish the goal of session 2. This streamable or downloadable audio lesson unveils manipulations used on you by the marketing industry so you can make buying decisions with your brain rather than your emotions. This one revelation could free up a lot of money that could be better focused on building your job optional income. Let's get to session 3. This is the power. This is the money lesson. The Activate Your Private Family Bank. This session unveils the private family banking concept, the platform from which you will pay off your debts if you have any and build your wealth using the same dollars at the same time. This is the engine that powers the Smart Wealth system. Your private family bank helps you reduce both your current and future expenses and increases your future income. So it closes your job optional income gap by moving both the income and expense levers. The private family bank is a truly unique tool that is quietly being used by America's richest families and biggest companies. Name a big company, they're doing this, including most banks, to safely, predictably, and powerfully build their wealth in a tax-free environment. And by the way, that's not in any bank account. In this session, we do much more than just tell you what a private family bank is. We unpack how to start your bank, how to grow it, and how to use it. This is a how-to training. Now, this is important. A true private family bank platform is only available in the United States and Canada. And again, this is because of differences in tax laws and insurance regulations. How do you get trained for session 3? Well, you get us on video and audio teaching you. You get all the slides and you get the lesson worksheet to follow along while we are teaching you. But then lesson 3 got me to thinking. At the root of most people's financial limitations is their mode of thinking about money. This mode comes largely from your experiences growing up. So I figured I'd better climb into your head and expand your thinking. So your session 3 bonus is an audio lesson called Your Mind's Money Box. In this lesson, I expose a mental blueprint that confines most people to a lower economic reality than they're capable of. I go on to explain how to redraw your blueprint, freeing you to achieve and enjoy more financial rewards than you may now be able to even dream of. Are we doing okay out there? Chat yes if you're tracking with me. I'm keeping my breath, but I'm giving you a lot of stuff here. But I want to respect your time, and that's kind of why I'm on max cruise control here. So just let me know if you're okay, and we'll keep going. And I'll have a special offer for you before we start the Q&A to make this smart wealth system very easily accessible to you. All right, session 4, remove your debts. This session shows how to use your private family bank to pay off your debts. Using your private family bank as the platform for this step means that every dollar going through your bank to pay off your debts actually stays in your bank, earning interest and dividends up to 20 times what regular banks pay. Since this growth is tax-free, it's on par with what the average stock market investor normally earns after taxes. And debt elimination reduces both your current and post-employment expenses, further closing your job optional income gap and increasing your future wealth. So lesson 4, like the other lessons, comes on video and audio with me and Tony. You get the presentation slides and you get the remove your debts lesson worksheet to follow along with us. Plus, in this lesson, you get the debt prioritization Excel spreadsheet, and you get it on a PDF form as well as the spreadsheet. And you use this form to prioritize your debts in payoff order for the next step. But session 4 got me to thinking. If you've been using debt to finance your life and your lifestyle, you may not fully comprehend the scope of how this undermines your ability to ever achieve job optional income. So I thought I should explain it to you. So your session 4 bonuses start with an audio lesson called Debt, Your Biggest Obstacle to Wealth. This lesson exposes just how destructive carrying debt is to your ability to ever build job optional income. Essentially, you can either make debt payments or build wealth. Pick one. You get another audio lesson called Whose Wealth Are You Building? This lesson goes into more detail on the league of industries we call the Coalition of Four. You'll find this very interesting. This powerful marketplace consortium shrewdly diverts most of the money you produce in your life into their bank vaults rather than into your own. And when you see how they do it, you'll be able to unwind it, okay? If this is starting to sound like a lot, understand that this program is designed to be consumed 1 session per week. Now, if you want to jump in the deep end, you'll be able to access all 5 sessions immediately. However, the live online classroom webinars with me and Tony will only be conducted once a week. Okay, session 5, transition to investing like a bank. This session examines how you can invest in the same kinds of assets that banks invest in, like real estate, vehicle financing, college education loans, businesses, home remodeling projects, and other low-risk, high-return, asset-based investments. And by asset-based, I mean real things like houses and so forth. Okay, notice real estate and businesses in these investment asset classes. Rental real estate and or a business of your own can produce income streams independent of your job or job optional income streams. So if you get into one of these businesses, you can add to what your wealth curve income can produce and what your Social Security can produce. And so this is just another way to get to that job optional income place. And when you use your private family bank to invest in these asset classes, all the dollars you use for these investments will continue earning interest and dividends inside your bank at the same time. So what happens to all that money staying in and growing in your private family bank? Well, it too can be turned into an ongoing, dependable wealth curve income stream whenever you want. You can also easily use funds from your bank to invest in any other asset you feel confident with. Do you invest in options or precious metals or art? whatever other investments you understand, you've got to get that money to invest from somewhere. Well, put it in your private family bank first and then get it out of there so that it can stay in your bank earning interest dividends there while you take it out to invest it in another thing that will make you money. See where this is going? It's all good. Your session 5 lesson comes the same as the others, Tony and I, on video and audio. You get the slides and you get the worksheet to follow along with us. But lesson 5 got me to thinking. If you're going to invest in to achieve job optional income, you need to think like a wealth builder. So I thought I should give you the advantage of knowing the principles that successful wealth builders apply. So your session 5 bonuses start with an audio lesson called The Laws of Wealth Creation. This lesson unpacks 11 foundational principles to successful wealth building. If you just get these critical truths down inside you, your actions will draw you towards money and money towards you. You also get an audio lesson called Investing in Real Estate. This lesson is a step-by-step guide to operating a single-family home rental real estate business. It's a detailed overview that makes sure you consider every important aspect of investing in rental real estate, from analyzing properties before you make an offer to building your support team of experts. Plus, you get these bonus tools. You get the personal balance sheet. You get it on Excel spreadsheet and PDF if you want to do it with paper and pen. But here's what a balance sheet is all about if you've never used one before. The balance sheet is where you figure out your net worth. Your net worth is the most accurate numerical presentation of your wealth. So your net worth should continually and always be increasing, at least until you get to retirement or job optional income, and then it may start decreasing as you use your assets to live on after retirement. But you want this document so that you can be tracking that on a quarterly basis or monthly basis is even better. We also give you sample private bank business loan documents and sample business loan amortization schedule. Why do we do that? Well, because if you use your bank to lend money to a business, whether it's your own business or someone else's business, for them to be able to take tax deductible deductions on the interest as they pay you back, they need these documents in their corporate book. So rather than having you either not know that or not know where to get them, we give them to you. So this is a system, a 5-step system. Start with a plan. Remember, planning is the first step, but we actually take you through that planning process. That plan will help you maximize your accelerator margin. You manage your spending so that you have the maximum amount left over each month. Where does that pile up? You pile it up in your private family bank, where it's growing inside your bank, but you can use that money now to pay off debts while it's still growing inside your bank. Once you pay off debts, that frees up even more money. So now you've got all this money in your bank that you can use to transition to investing like a bank in real assets that you can trust, that don't go flopping up and down like the stock market. And where does that bring you? It ends up producing income streams, which make your job optional. So there are your 5 Smart Wealth System sessions. Does that mean I'm done? Well, not exactly, because we decided we wanted to give you another complete session to tie all this together. So you get bonus session 6, Eliminate Your Job Optional Income Gap. This is a complete 6th session, including video and audio lessons, handouts, and bonuses, bringing all the tools of the previous 5 sessions to bear on making sure your post-employment income streams will add up to more than your post-employment living expenses. So you get the training on video and audio, you get the slides, you get the worksheet. Plus, lesson 6 got me to thinking. Doing a lot of thinking, aren't I? Well, if I'm going to ask you to consider making bigger life changes to allow you to enjoy job optional income, then perhaps I should give you a teaching on just that. So you're going to get an audio lesson called Redesign Your Life. This lesson takes you outside your life plan box to explore other lifestyle and location possibilities. You may well find a more desirable retirement life or even current life in a less expensive area, possibly even doing something much different from your current occupation. And then I had yet another thought. If you'd like to take some steps to increase your income, to help you build your wealth and close any job optional income gap, there are several ways you can do that. So I thought maybe I should explain those to you. So you get an audio lesson called how to increase your income. This powerful lesson examines your realistic options for increasing your primary income stream and adding additional income streams, from strategies for getting a raise, to changing employers, to changing careers, to starting a business of your own. This lesson helps you determine what would work best for your present and future needs. Plus, you're going to get these additional bonuses. You're going to get a career change checklist. So if you decide in the process that, hey, I need to get into a better paying career, this checklist is going to make sure you take all the right steps. It's the key steps you need to take if you decide to change careers. We're also going to give you a second income evaluation worksheet. This you will get as a spreadsheet and will help you determine whether a second household income will really improve your cash flow. Sometimes it doesn't. And you get a special bonus. And this is really a powerful one. You get a personal, free, private family banking consultation. It might be with me. And this is one-on-one. We're not talking about us and me and a crowd of people. This is a one-on-one private family bank consultation with maybe me or Tony or one of our other 3 team members who are trained to do this. You'll be able to find out how much job optional income your private family bank could build for you by your job optional income age, and you can find out how rapidly you could pay off your debts through your private family bank. And you can get that from this free personal consultation. Okay, now I'm done. That's the Smart Wealth System course. So let's hear from a few people actually using the Smart Wealth System. Here's Lori. She says, with the Smart Wealth System, I feel very confident. There are bonus videos with each session that teach you how to reduce your expenses, achieve professional success, and detailed advice on ways to invest your money. For anyone who is striving for financial security and for work being optional in the future, I recommend this program most highly. Henrietta says, I want this knowledge to be shared with every young person out there. Let's stop giving our money to high credit cards, high auto loans, student loans, and so on, and start paying ourselves for the things we need, like cars and houses, education, while securing our financial future for retirement. I do not want to have to work for the rest of my life. I want to be able to set a retirement date when I want. That is the beauty I saw in the system. It is a smart way to build financial security. The process was simple and easy to grasp because I already have the mentality of investing in myself first. Do it for you as I have done it for me. Dave says, I had to change my retirement strategy because what I was doing was not working. The standard 401k wasn't working. I was saving, but I wasn't getting out of debt. I lost a lot of money in 2008 and credit card debt increased substantially. I wish I had done this when I was younger. Yeah, me too, Dave. Okay. Andrew says, thank you for your advice. Now, I got this email from Andrew on a day when the stock market had taken one of its fun 1,000-point drops. And he said, thank you for your advice and your help with our savings plan. Many of my coworkers were concerned all day about the plunge of today, and I was able to simply relax. Thank you again. Becky says, if you decide to give the SMART program a try, we're pretty sure you won't be disappointed. We weren't and still aren't. The program is a magnificent, life-changing, and practical approach to financial freedom. And like many other people have said before us, we wish we would have found this program sooner. So just imagine, with the Smart Wealth System, you can be rapidly paying off your debts. And instead of just sending extra dollars to your creditors, every debt elimination dollar will be simultaneously staying in your private family bank to build your wealth for the rest of your life. If you don't have any debts, imagine every dollar you put into this system giving you guaranteed internal return. Plus, you can use money from your bank to make outside investments while the money actually stays in your bank, earning interest and dividends. SMART is a lifetime financial system. It's not just about paying off debts. It's not just about becoming your own financing source for cars and for all the stuff you purchase, your big purchase things. It's not just about building a job optional income stream. It's not just about instantly creating a large and growing estate to pass on to your heirs. It's all of the above. The Smart Wealth System course will clarify and focus your finances on eliminating any debts while simultaneously growing your private bank's money pool that you control and can access at any time for any reason without restrictions. And it will help you build additional wealth through safe, secure investments backed by real assets, not just monthly statements. It's a generational system. The Smart Wealth System course will give you a template to pass on to your heirs. You won't just leave them money when you pass. You'll leave them a financial system that they can follow to multiply the money. But time is of the essence. To manage class size for the live online classroom sessions, this offer is only going to be available till midnight Sunday Pacific time. If you don't take this offer, you'll have to wait for the next class, and you may, it says may here, but you probably absolutely will have to pay a higher price. So what is the price? Well, let's put the value in perspective first. Thousands of people paid an average of about $3,000 each to attend the Tony Robbins Wealth Mastery programs that I taught. Thousands of people paid an average of about $4,000 each for transforming debt into wealth coaching. If the Smart Wealth system could help you reduce your monthly expenses by, let's say, $850, and that is way doable, a car payment or two, a couple of credit cards, you're at $850 a month. That would improve your cash flow by $10,000 a year that you're not sending out to creditors anymore. And if the Smart Wealth system could build enough wealth to generate $10,000 a year of additional wealth curve income for you, which is way doable, by the way, that would increase your net job optional income by $20,000 spendable dollars a year. That's the real results value of what we teach. But let's just consider the value of what's in the Smart course. In fact, let's just consider the live online classroom webinars with me and Tony. These are 60 to 90-minute live webinars. You're getting unlimited access to weekly hour-and-a-half live sessions with me and Tony. Now, wealth coaches and financial advisors routinely charge $200 to $500 an hour or $1,000 per review session. And I'll bet you a bag of donuts, none of these people taught wealth seminars with Tony Robbins. I'm just saying. So what is the value of this? Let's be very conservative and say 6 sessions. If you stayed with us for 6 sessions, that's a $6,000 value. And that $6,000 doesn't include the value of all the other educational components of the course, like the 6 lessons on video and audio, all the slides, all the handouts, all the spreadsheets, and 17 bonuses, including downloadable audio lessons, PDF printable tools, and spreadsheets. Or the special bonus, a free personal one-on-one private family bank consultation where you can find out how much job optional income your private family bank could build for you by your job optional income age, or you could find out how rapidly you could pay off your debts through your private family bank. I can't even put a price on this one. So that's not what's going to happen for you. You're not going to pay anything like the $20,000 potential results difference. It's the results that really matter, but you're not going to pay that. The difference that this course could make in your life every year, or even the $6,000 value of just 6 sessions with me and Tony. The Smart Wealth System course is just $497. But hang on. That's a great deal. But Tony and I want to make it irresistible this time. It's not going to be quite as irresistible going forward because we're doing this to build up a cadre of people taking our course and testimonials and stuff. The $497 value is already a rocking great price, but we want to help you change your future. That's why we're doing this. So if you're ready to act and take charge of the rest of your financial life, I'll give you a $200 quick action discount today. Special today, $297. Let's put that in perspective. My daughter's an accountant. One of her college textbooks was $380. One book. You're getting this class, all the video teachings, all the audio teachings, all the handouts, all the slides, and all the time you want with me and Tony for $297. So now you can see why I said the price is going to increase in the future, because this deal is simply insane. Sorry, but it is. But if $297 is a stretch for you right now, we want to get you in here so you can make 3 payments of just $107. That's $107 today, $107 in 30 days, and $107 in 60 days. So even these low prices come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So let us mentor you. In the Smart Wealth System course, you'll be learning from 2 people who have dedicated nearly a combined half-century to researching and teaching personal finance strategies. We've helped millions of people around the world. we can save you a half century of mistakes. How much would you pay to save even 1 year of wasted time with your finances? Now, an order button should be showing up right about now over by the chat area. You should click it, because by applying this system, you could pay off your debts if you have them and keep the same dollars growing in your private family bank. You could build tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars of retirement income or more, retirement savings or more. You could instantly increase your estate's net worth. You could save to educate your children. You could know their education will be paid for even if you died before you saved enough. You could boost the return of any investment you want to make and add thousands to your retirement income stream. So click the Get Smart Now button over there. Make one low payment of $297 or 3 lower payments of only $107. You can use a credit card or PayPal, including PayPal's credit option, which is, I believe, 60 days, no interest. So if you go and choose the PayPal option, you can go in there and use their PayPal credit. That's only in the United States, but so is our offer. So we're good. But if you're in Canada, I don't think that credit option is available. Okay, so here's the deal. It's a $200 quick action discount now. If you don't take this offer, you'll have to wait. You will probably have to pay a higher price. And more importantly, you will delay your arrival at job optional income. Back in the day when I was teaching just debt elimination, I was able to calculate that for the average person, every day they waited to start on the plan, if I went out to when they were around 70, I think age 70, that their wealth at age 70 decreased by $429 for every day they waited to start. So wait as many days as you can afford to, okay? If you're not happy with this offer, we will give you your money back. If you don't dig the Smart Wealth system after you see it, we will give you your money back. Tony and I do this to help you have a better financial life, not to diminish it. So if you don't think your financial life's been improved, we don't want your money. You won't even have to talk to a human. Just send us an email and we will quickly process your refund. Oh, but what if I might not be available at the scheduled live webinar times? No worries. We record them. They're archived. In fact, inside your portal, when you log in to your Smart Wealth System course portal, in there are all the archived live online classrooms, and plus the latest one. Plus, as soon as the class is over, within an hour, we send out a link to a replay. So you will be able to see the live online classrooms. How about I'm too old? Well, I can tell you personally, I started my private family bank and started this system when I was 63. And here's the point. This system is a generational wealth system. So it is not just for you. It is really for you and the generations that follow you. So I'm not sure there is a too old for this system, because we have an accumulation phase and what we call a legacy phase. So you will be able to make this work for you and those following you. And age should not be really an issue. How about I don't know anything about investing? Happy days. We teach you investing. That's what session 5 is all about. In fact, we teach you how to invest in things that you can have a lot more confidence in than using what I call the chuck and hope system, where you chuck money into a 401k and hope it goes up. That's no way to play the game. How about I don't have any money to work with to build wealth? Well, happy day again. In session 2 and session 4, we teach you how to find that money and how to recover money that is now going to your creditors. So we help you get that money. How about I don't have the money for the Smart Wealth course tonight? Okay, we need to have a little talk here, because I don't really think this is a legitimate question even for you to be asking yourself. Because here's the deal. Let's say I was sitting here with a gold bar and it was worth $10,000. And I told you, you know what? I'll sell you this gold bar for $297. You know that you would turn the sofa upside down and shake it. You would turn your kids upside down and shake them. You would go searching around the neighborhood for pennies that have fallen on you would find $297. So the question is not the price. The question is the value to you. So if you don't think it's worth $297, you know what? Don't get it. Seriously, don't get it. But if you want it, you should get it. And if it turns out that it's not what you think it is, like I said, there's a money back guarantee. But don't let this one stand in your way. Invest in yourself. How about I already know about investing? Well, happy day again, because in session 5, we show you how to invest through your private family bank in a way that will actually add to the return on the investing you already know how to do. So don't miss this. The people who take action now will be growing their job optional income. As Tony Robbins puts it, the number one key to success is the ability to take action. So take action. Click that Get Smart button now. So now we're going to get ready to do the Q&A. But first, before we do that, we need, Tony's over there, he's in master control. We need to give somebody a Kindle Fire. So let's see. Which letter should I pick? Yeah, you never know what I'm going to do. All right, let's go with the T. What does the T in SMART stand for? Remember, it was start with a plan, maximize your accelerator margin was the M, activate your private family bank was step 3. Step 4 was remove your debts. T was the first one to come on the chat with that answer. What does the T stand for? Will be the winner of our Kindle Fire. Yeah. Take action. Sorry, Kashiv. That's not it. Take control. Nope. I'll help you out. It's not take. It's not take candy from a baby or any of that. Transition. Tony got it. So Tony will be contacting Tony and getting his information so that we can get Tony his Kindle Fire. Congratulations, Tony. Good job. Transition to investing like a bank is what it was. Start with a plan, maximize your accelerator margin, activate your private family bank. That's the powerful one. R, remove your debts. T, transition to investing like a bank. Okay, so let's move to the Q&A. Yeah, so you got a question for me? All right, Monica had a question. I have a $180,000 mortgage, no other debts, and a personal, a seasonal small business that barely makes ends meet each month. Can your system work for me? Okay. Yes, it can. And it would probably be worth doing, doing the consultation, especially to see exactly where that is. And the mortgage is an issue, which we get into actually in the course. And I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. And if you don't mind, I'm going to have a little drink of water because I've been talking a lot. You may have noticed. When you're removing your debts, you get to the mortgage. It's usually the last one that you get to. When you get there, today's reality is different from when I started teaching a quarter century ago, when interest rates were way higher on mortgages. So when you got there, you said, oh my gosh, I got a 10% mortgage. I got to get rid of this thing. All right, mortgage rates are a lot lower now. So there are some questions that you want to ask yourself, and we go through this in the course to decide whether it's better to take the money you could now add on to your mortgage payment to pay it off versus putting that money into a private family bank. And we go through the pros and cons, and so you can make an educated decision. So the mortgage is not necessarily something you have to pay off unless it's emotionally really, really, really important to you. If it is, then yes, you can do that, and you can use your bank to do that. Now, as far as your small business that barely makes ends meet, we are actually working on a course which hopefully it can come out. Gosh, I'd love to at least do the pilot this summer. Yeah, we're trying to clone ourselves. We're talking to medical researchers around the world to see if they can clone me and Tony. But we have the bulk of it ready to go, and it's going to be called the Smartest Business System. And so that's going to be another course which will deal with a lot of the issues in starting and building a business of your own. And the most important one, and the one that gives people the most trouble, is marketing. And we do a lot on that, and particularly online marketing. So that'll be something you want to keep a watch out for. But basically, yeah, this is, I mean, Monica, if you're saving money anywhere, if you've got a 401k or an IRA or a bank account or anything, and even just the session 2 where we teach you to find your accelerator margin, the places where money is leaking out of your life, you're likely to find out that some of the things you spend money on are optional, and you can recover that money and put it to work in a way that will leverage you out of that tight place where you think you are right now. Okay, any other questions? Okay, Monica, again, when will the live sessions be held? Okay, right now they're on Thursday nights. They're in this same time slot as wherever you are in America, whatever time you started watching this presentation, it's the same time on Thursday evenings. They are recorded, they are archived. So you will be able to see them even if you can't be there for the live presentation. But Thursdays. And we have a lot of fun. We get together on there and we do a little bit of training, and then we open it up for Q&A. And, you know, when you're going through the course, you're going to have questions. And so we answer a lot of it. A lot of it revolves around the private family bank, because that's the new piece, the piece that is not, you know, something that people get right off the bat. Okay. Anything else? Bob says, I want to get this. Just all of my money is spoken for until I get paid Saturday. Well, like I said, you have till midnight Sunday, Pacific time. So that makes sure that it's Monday all the way through the United States, except for the poor people in Hawaii. I suppose we could have made it Honolulu time. If you're viewing from Hawaii, you're just going to have to do it a little bit earlier. And but anyway, midnight Pacific time. And I'm going to be serious with you here. We're talking about 12:00, and then that thing changes over to, sorry you missed it. Yeah. So really, we're not kidding. You know, maybe some people do that and they're just pulling your chain, but we're not. So yeah, you have till midnight Sunday. So if you can't do it right this second, you can do it by then. Okay. Anything else? I'm sure I did a whiz-bangy job doing the presentation. This is an exciting course to teach. It is a fun, the videos and stuff, Tony and I have a good time, and you will have a good time with us. Okay, the other Tony, the winner, I presume, of the Kindle Fire, said, would you be advising us to close 401ks and paying penalties? Rarely. In fact, I can't remember ever recommending that. If you're under 59 and a half, what we will recommend, and it depends. That's why we have the personal consultations, because everybody's situation is different. But what we frequently recommend is stop funding it and fund this instead, because this is a clean alternative to those qualified plans and IRS buckets that they have us put money in, IRAs, et cetera. So this is a clean alternative, clear alternative to that. So it's not unreasonable to stop funding that and start moving that money over into private family bank capitalizing. And even if you get a match from your employer, it's worth considering, because the match, even though it sounds like, oh, I get a 50-50 match or whatever, when I could show you these numbers, and maybe sometime we'll do that on one of the online classrooms, but I can show you how at the end of the game, when you get to the end, your 401k, all that match money turns out to be less than about 9% of your 401k money. So it sounds like a lot, but it doesn't turn out to be a lot. And to get it, you're running the risk of being in the market, which is just not a good place to be. It just isn't. So we will recommend a lot of time, or reduce down to only what the employer matches and then move the rest of it over. So those are the kinds of things we talk about. But I don't like to have people pay the penalty on that kind of withdrawal. Okay. Bob again. I'm about to get a new car. Long story short, I wanted to keep my monthly payments as low as possible. I am just starting my private family bank. First payment this month. Good for you. I opted to lease and have the 100% intention to purchase it at the end. I'm assuming at the end of the lease. I want to buy it with my private family bank in 3 years after it has grown. Is the lease a bad decision? Okay. If we take it out of the context of buying out the lease at the end with your private family bank, as you're doing, generally, yeah, a lease is not a good decision, because a lease is essentially renting a car long term. Okay, it's a rental. You pay them thousands of dollars and you end up with nothing, zero asset. Okay, so leases, unless you're a business and the business is paying the lease and it is a business cost or a business expense that is diminishing profit. So essentially the business is buying you a car and the IRS is helping you pay for it. That's really what's going on there. That's one place inside of a legitimate business that can afford it. A lease can be a usable idea. Privately, leases are not so good. You're already in it. If you can buy it out with your bank at the end, you can make this work for you. But it's not the least expensive way to get the car. If you, in the future, let's just take Bob's question, and I agree with what you're planning on doing. You kind of got one foot in it already, so you need to make lemonade out of it, and using your bank to buy it out at the end will do that. But let's say that you're not there. The better way to do it is when your private family bank has enough money in it to buy the car, you pull out the money, buy the car. Now, remember, the money's still staying in your bank and growing at the same time. And then you make the payments back to your bank so that in 5 or so years, when you want to get another car, you just rinse and repeat out of your private family bank. But what you'll see on our live classrooms, for example, is what happens is in the background, your wealth curve, your amount in your bank is actually going like this, while you're just recycling this money to buy the next car and the next car and the next car. So it's a great way to buy cars. Private family bank. Good way to do it. Okay. Anybody else? And it's a good way to finance other major purchases, home remodeling. Okay, Monica had something to say here. Basically, I have no major debt, but no savings either. Would love to move away from this spot. Well, that's exactly what this system is all about. It's about step one, plan. If you don't have a plan, you're not going anywhere. You're not going to achieve anything. It's just random. You might as well be a ball in a pinball machine. So you got to have the plan. So we help you get that in place. Then we teach you in detail how to manage your spending and how to find those leaks and get a hold of the money in your life so it can accumulate. And then we use that accumulation to eliminate debts. Now, in your case, you say you don't have any major debts, but see, when somebody puts an adjective in front of debt, I've been at this and Tony's been at this for a long time. You know what? Debt is debt. It's money that's going to somebody else instead of you. So we want to get rid of that. When you get to the mortgage, because of the interest rate scenario, there are more things to consider. But basically, you want to maximize the amount of money that you earn and bring into your life that you can use to accumulate, to build wealth. And that's exactly what this is about. And the private family bank is the best way to do it. Okay. Do we have another one pop in there? Kashif said, okay, I want to fund my business with my private family bank. Can I do this? Yes, sirree. Absolutely. Show it to the IRS as an expense. Yeah. The way that works is you would be loaning the business money. You would take the money out of your bank. You would loan it to your business. Your business would have some sort of structure, an LLC, S Corp or something. And that S Corp would then put the documents we told you that we're going to give you in the course, the loan document and the amortization schedule, into the corporate book for the LLC or corporation. And then the payments it will make back to repay that loan to you and then you to your bank, though the interest will be tax deductible to the business. So yeah, that's a great way to use your bank. Jerome, is the price offered tonight good until Sunday? Yes. Yep. The price I quoted today, I said today, but it's this offer all the way till midnight Sunday. Yes. So I'm sorry if I confused that issue, but yes, the $200 discount is good till Sunday night, midnight Pacific time. So thank you, Jerome, for bringing that one up. Anything else while I spin in my chair here? Stretch out my vertebrae. Okay, looks like we got it done, and we're actually inside the timeline that we normally set. We like to not keep you more than 90 minutes because, hey, this is an evening for you and those you care about spending time with more than you love me. I get it. I'm in therapy. I can handle it. Okay. All right. Okay, Monica has something. Would I be able to join in the live session about 15 minutes late? Yes, certainly. Yeah. There's no door slamming after we get started. People do that. They go, oh my gosh, it's Thursday night. Yep. And they'll jump on 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late. That's okay. We know where you live. We'll find you. No, it's okay. It's if you're late. And if you did miss a half an hour or something like that, you can always go watch the first half hour of the video. So you get it. Yep. Cool. Yeah, we do it, and we're not like your teachers back in high school or college. We're not going to penalize you if you walk in the classroom late, or as Sister Agnes Rose used to do to me, rap my knuckles with a ruler. We don't do that kind of thing. We're nice guys. How secure is private family banking? Kashif is asking. I saw that pop in the top. Very secure, more secure than money in a bank. And I could go into all the reasons why, but I'll just say life insurance companies are more secure than banks. And I'll just tell you, by regulation, insurance companies must be 100% solvent. In other words, they have to be able to have access to all the dollars that they owe to you in your cash value, in that if you ask for it, you could get it all. Banks only need to have a dime for every dollar they owe you. Do the math. I like keeping my money with somebody that has to be 100% solvent. Plus, there are all the kind of statutory backups like you're used to FDIC with banks. There are similar systems in place for insurance companies. So yeah, it is very secure. And banks do not invest in anything risky. Insurance companies don't invest in risky investments. They invest in high-grade corporate bonds or bonds floated by large-scale real estate projects like stadiums and skyscrapers and stuff like that. Bonds, if you don't know how they work, a bond is a loan. If I buy a $10,000 bond, I am loaning the government or Microsoft or Apple $1,000 or $10,000, whatever the bond is. They are going to pay me interest, whatever the interest rate is on that bond, every month, every quarter, depending on what it is. And then at the end of the period, let's say it's a 10-year bond. At the end of 10 years, after paying me 10 years of interest, they give me my $10,000 back. That's how bonds work. That's what life insurance companies invest in. They're not in the shock market. They're not doing crazy stuff with your money. So the returns on your money are very dependable and very, very safe. Monica's in Oregon. Nice place. So 4 p.m. is still part of the workday. Well, I get it. I understand, hon. We are looking at, I don't want to make any promises. We may adjust it. I've toyed with adjusting it an hour back, making it a little bit later, but then we start getting into pretty late in the evening for the East Coast people. But we'll look at that. We're always looking at that. So if anybody wants to give us feedback on how that would play for you, let us know. And I understand that. Here, we live in Arizona. People start getting out of work here at like 2:30. I don't know what it is. I got to remember to look at the camera. But the highways start to clog up, the expressways at 2:30, 3 o'clock. People are getting out. They start early, get out early, probably so that they can get home before they spontaneously combust from the heat. Actually, it's not that bad. We just say that kind of stuff to keep you all from moving here. Okay, because we don't want more traffic, trust me. Okay, Monica, can you send a schedule of all the live session days and times and how to purchase this tomorrow? Well, you will get, okay, you're going to get emails that will help you after this, that will allow you to get to the order page, okay, to do this after today. You will also get a replay of this session. You're going to replay video link. So that will have the order button on it, and you'll be able to click that. And you can, that should be running. There'll be a way for you to get to the order form by watching the video or clicking on a page somewhere, and you will get that in emails all the way till Sunday night. So you don't have to write down the URL or anything. That's another good question, Monica. Never thought about that. Yes, you'll be sent information about how to follow through with this if you didn't click it right now. So, yep. Okay, what insurance company do you recommend? We not only recommend, we use. And by the way, if you decide to do a private family bank, you can do it with me or with Tony, or we have 3 other team members that if we can't handle it, we hand you off to people who are trained and who we trust to do it the right way. We use, in most of the country, Lafayette Life Insurance Company. You can look them up. It's LLIC.com, Lafayette Life Insurance Company. And they're 111 years old, 110 years old. And they have made a profit and been solvent 110 years. Every year they've been in business, including through the Great Depression and 2 world wars. So this is a very secure, they're one of the top 3 highest rated insurance groups in the country. So it's a really, really good company. I see Kevin's got what looks like a question. Oh, Jerome. Okay. Does the policy have to be in my name, or can it be in someone else's name? Good question. We're actually kind of doing a Thursday night live classroom now. It can be in anybody's name in whom you have an insurable interest. Could be a spouse, could be a child, could be a business partner, anyone in whom you have an insurable interest. You can't just pick somebody off the street, and it can't be a friend of a friend of a friend. You have to have an insurable interest in them. But yes, it can be on someone else's life. So you're not stuck if you have a medical condition you think might be an issue or something. We have ways of doing this almost no matter what. So, talk to us about it. Kevin, how much of a policy do I need to buy to start the private family bank? What happens to the savings? You know what? Okay, I'll answer that last question. Your heirs get it. Your beneficiary gets that money. Don't worry about the money not going to the people you care about. It will. But, we're starting to get technical now. I'd really suggest get the course. And then you can ask us these kind of questions on a Thursday night. You have 30 days, which would be 4 Thursday night live classrooms, and you can still get your money back. So what's the risk? Do it, and then let us I don't want to get really too technical. I'm not trying to hide anything, but we've kind of gone past our time, and I don't want to keep everybody and really get down in the weeds right now, because they don't know until you go through the course. You don't really know what we teach about the private family bank. We could be answering all your questions right there in the video, and probably we will answer most of them in the video. So, I'm not trying to dodge. I'm just trying to say it's kind of like the spaghetti sauce. Remember that old commercial? It's in there. It's in there. It's in the course. Okay. So Kevin, we could work out how much in a private consultation. Bob has a question I see here. Once I start my private family bank, how long until I can start a loan from the policy to divert my payments from my first debt to pay off? Okay. Again, we're getting kind of technical. 21 days after you put money in, it's available. Okay. So 21 days is the answer. There's no long seasoning process or anything like that. So it's very clean, and it's always in your control. I mean, it's not even as, how do I want to say? It's not even as controlling as a cell phone contract. It isn't. I mean, you can quit. You could do anything you want. You're always the boss. The contract, the life insurance contract, has only one obligated party in it, the insurance company. All righty. Anybody else? Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. I don't see one anyway. So we really have gone a little long. And again, I want to respect your time. If somebody has a serious question, I mean, I will answer it. I'm not trying to dodge, but it looks like we've exhausted everyone. So, oh, yeah. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Tony. All right. So in closing, I want to make sure you get your bonuses. So let me just say that this is an opportunity to build job optional income, and it is a great deal. Just the conservative value of the online classroom sessions with me and Tony are $1,000 each. Actually, it's technically $1,000 for each of us for each session. So that would really be $2,000 each. So that's quite a deal, isn't it? The actual value to your life could easily be $10,000, $20,000 a year or more. I'm serious. That's the kind of change this can make in your life. Right now, you can gain access to the class that starts as soon as you make the purchase for just $297. Remember, you can get full access immediately, and the live classrooms are on Thursday. So click that Get Smart button now. An order page will show up, but that will go away at midnight on Sunday. Now, I promised you the bonuses for staying with me till the end, and you're going to have to click the Get Smart button to get to them. So go ahead and click the button, and down at the bottom, you scroll down to the bottom of the page that will come up, the order page, and you're going to go past all the good stuff that's in the course, which is designed exactly to tempt you to reconsider doing this, because it's good for you. It's really a good deal for you. But anyway, down at the bottom, there will be two kind of buttons or little panels down there to click to download the calculate your debt payoff form and the slides from this session. And don't forget, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee with the course. So there's no risk to taking the course. The only risk really is not taking the course. So you won't be building job optional income. So again, thank you for giving us time and even this extra credit time. Okay, I see Lauren had a question real quick. I'll look at it. There's been no discussion of how to fund this account. Yes, there has been. It's been in the finding your margin, eliminating your debts. These are the places where you're going to get the money to fund this account. Also, if you're funding a 401k or funding an IRA or something like that, we can divert some of that money into it. And that's how it gets funded. It gets funded the same way you would save seriously for any other kind of account that would be designed to build your wealth for the end game, what I call the fourth quarter of life. So, yep, we talk about the funding and we teach the funding in the course. That's part of the course. Sessions 2 and 4 are all about that. In fact, sessions 1, 2, and 4 are all about finding the funding. So, Bob says Decloris. Okay, FBI New York. Okay. So anyway, we're done. So I want to thank you again for giving us the time and extra credit time. We've got an extra 8 minutes out of it with you. I enjoyed it. I hope we get a chance to help you with the Smart Wealth System course. And we've given you a few days to think about it, but don't think too long, because that order form does go away at midnight on Sunday. God bless you. And whether you use our system or somebody else's, please prepare for your future and don't be part of the 92%. Thanks. See you next time.